the pain of that is, it's an indication of how much, somebody loves. And I also feel that, nobody, relationships of any kind, professional, personal, they are about compromise and communication, but all within healthy limits. If you ever feel you're losing yourself or you're betraying yourself first, then don't be in it. And for me, a relationship always comes second to me, because if I am not in the right space and I'm not able to add value to my own life, you can be sure as hell I'm not going to be able to do that for somebody else. And as well as the fact that somebody else can be a value addition to your life, but not a cure or a fix or, a substitute for anything.
So, women, I read this really amazing quote. I don't know who wrote it, but they spoke about how a woman should never, or nobody should ever raise their daughter to ever believe that another flawed individual will really be your gateway to a successful or a more fulfilled life. That's the, I think, perception most girls have. Yeah, I get married once I have a husband, have the best life. And, eventually that weight and that want to be with someone and not feeling fulfilled because you're not with the right person, that can really further be detrimental on your mental health. And this lockdown, this pandemic, all of us started, we've started to really think hard about those values or those qualities or those elements in our lives. Marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend. Should I get married now or should I end relationship with someone right now? Because you're seeing people locked up in a room. That's also quite a mess. So on two ends, on one if you're a couple, on the other if you're single, how do you really let relationship aside not affect you? How have you done it?
I've done it because, like I said, I've shamelessly said my greatest love stories with myself first. And whoever understands that about me and they feel the same way about themselves, like you said something beautiful. See, we're all flawed, but if we're working towards fixing those flaws on our timeline with our lessons, then that's fine. If you think 50 and 50 will make 100, no, a relationship should be 200. 200% making a 200. And that's a really, really powerful exchange of energy. Yeah.
All right. And your relationship with your friends, what is it that you do? I want to know your routine for the day, especially during this pandemic lockdown. What do you do? First of all, you look so fit. I want to know your fitness regime.
I'm really blessed and thankful this time, honestly, that I'm not alone. The last time I was alone since March to July, and I was physically completely alone. I hadn't had a hug or I hadn't touched another human being, and I was completely by myself, and I felt really, it really pushed me into the recesses of my mind and my heart.
Yeah.
This time I'm really thankful that I'm not alone. Last time it was the same friend who took me through the pandemic but far away, and this time it's like, no, we're going to lockdown together, and it's been really great to share chores. So it's not just me doing jhadu pocha and bartan the whole day, all day. So that's great. Sharing the domestic responsibilities as well as being artists, creative together and being able to talk about that excite me. And so I'm really thankful. So that's why it's like pretty boring stuff, except we have a lot of artistic, creative ideas and conversations as well.
You said the last year was a lot of introspection. What did you feel that you wanted to change drastically or dramatically, or the one thing that you wanted to do right after the lockdown was lifted and the pandemic was over?
I thought I'm a person who doesn't like hugs and physical contact. And
you don't?
Who doesn't like hugs. I never liked hugs much. And I didn't like...
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I was like not a cuddler, not even with my own family. So I would only annoy my sister. That was like standard in my life, that I would only bug my younger sister the most with cuddling. Otherwise, I never cuddled anyone. I never thought hugs were important. But what I learned after the last pandemic is that hugs are really important and physical contact is beautiful. Yeah, that was my lesson.
That's so sweet. And how, I mean, your family and your connect with your father. He's now into politics. Just the fact that would you share your emotions if you're feeling low? Is he the one? Is Mr. Kamal Hassan the one who's your sounding bag, or is it your mum, or who's the one person that's go-to for you?
Uh, when I'm feeling low, no, I don't call my dad. I call my dad when I'm done feeling low and I need a pick me up. Him needs a good knock to say, come on, look
Yeah.
at the facts, let's go, then I can. But when I'm on like, he's the last person you should call because he'd be like, that's silly, why are you crying? Can you explain why you're crying? And I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. The last person to call when I actually don't talk to anybody except my therapist when I'm low, weirdly. The habit of sharing easily. And now through therapy, I've realized sometimes I just actually like to go through it and recognize the emotion, because sometimes what happens is we're in such a hurry to feel better that we don't understand what is bothering us, you know?
Yeah.
So I actually spend time to understand what's bothering me. And then I'll call my girlfriends or, my group of friends and be like, I was feeling low about this. And this is what I thought. What do you guys think? And then
So you see, you share it with your friends also then?
Yes, I do. I have a very good set of friends. I'm very blessed.
And are you the sort who wants to shake it off, the sad feeling, or if you're feeling low or blue, then go out for a nice party, a good, a dance, take it out with your friends and enjoy it, or not, just to relax. But you like meeting people? Are you social? Do you like that warm?
I'm anti-socially social. It's really weird. Like I don't like big parties. I'm still very. I have a lot of anxiety and social interactions. Like when it's too many people, it actually makes me really nervous. Yeah. Still, I thought it's something I'd get over, and I realized, okay, this is just me, and I still feel like.
But what is it that really makes you feel anxious? If I may ask, what about people around makes you feel anxious? Because you're a star. We would look at it as a lay person. We look at it as a star, an actor like you, who's born in a film family, to be used to people around, to be used to the kind of fanfare, people constantly coming and hovering around you. And this is just like your way of just, you could just really handle that kind of crowd and that attention.
I'm okay.
What about people is that?
So I'm okay on a movie set. I'm okay interacting with fans. I'm okay seeing people in front of me when I'm singing. You know what really gets me is like parties, like Bollywood parties and like social situations where there's no real reason for us to meet. And it's like, it feel like high school all over again. Is there something on my shoes? Is there something on my face? And I really thought I would get over that, and I didn't. And I realized, okay, it's not people, it's people collectively being in one place for no apparent reason.
Well, the only apparent reason is to have fun, maybe get drunk, take a leg, pull someone's leg.
So it's difficult for me.
You don't?
Because, no, I'm completely sober. I've had a sober life for 4 years. Like, I have nothing in my life, not even coffee.
Fantastic. Was that a conscious decision?
Yes,
or
it was.
Like...
No, it was a conscious decision, because I think that, especially in society, like, alcohol is, like, I don't judge people who do, but I think that it's so free-flowing and it's so subliminally advertised, and there's so many connotations with it. India also has like the largest number of closeted female alcoholics, and it's like, why? And it really made me question a lot of why was I. So it's like, oh, my heart is broken, have a drink. It's my birthday, have a drink. You got a raise, have a drink. So I was like, bloody hell, we're drinking for every single thing. And I was like,
yeah, we're all. Guilty of it.
Yeah, and I was like, how about like without any chemicals? And it was very daunting at first, and that's when I truly realized how boring a lot of social situations, and so I was like, okay, I know where I stand now.
But it's really tempting when if you have been an alcoholic or if you've had been a social person in the past, it is to actually get on with one drink, maybe be a little social. Because ultimately, I mean, from whatever I see, you make friends if you're out there socializing. Otherwise, it's very hard to connect with people, especially if you're coming from an industry that you are from. To get work, I'd say, you've got to socialize. Otherwise, you're looked upon as someone who's difficult to work with or very antisocial to the point that you wouldn't want to mingle, and therefore, those who mingle would have more access to work, to people, to networking. So how do you take that part of life, especially when it comes to your work and stuff?
I believe in socializing people that I genuinely from my heart want to spend time with. Okay, and then I don't. I can say maybe 50% of people have got work from schmoozing, and that's never how I operated, and I probably missed out on a lot of opportunities. But it is what it is. That it's just not something I felt comfortable with. I either vibed with someone artistically or I didn't, and that's really how I worked through even the business. Yeah.
Okay, so you like traveling then? Does travel really make you feel liberated, free, happy, alive?
Yes. I love traveling. I love meeting people from other cultures. And, it reminds us of the things we take for granted, or maybe teaches us a new perspective, which we didn't have, I love trying new cuisines from all over the world. And I love feeling the energy of a new place. So I definitely miss traveling. I have a home in London as well. So for me, I miss London very much. It's one of my favorite places. Very much like Bombay for so many cultures to come together.
Yeah, it's a global city, no doubt. You have people from all over. And yeah, it's nice to meet people with different cultures. You learn so much. Are you someone who's always constantly looking at learning one new thing every day? Like some people consciously say, okay, what am I learning today? Are you someone like that? Are you a forever learner?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually one of those people who immediately in a movie, or if I'm watching the news, or if I'm watching a documentary and I don't know something, I will write it down on my phone, and then I will study it afterwards. I'm super geeky, thinking of words, the etymology of things, and the history of things, and then if it's an actor I will research their whole life, and I'm just very, very geeky.
So you are inquisitive, super inquisitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shruti, now is also the time that a lot of people have, lost jobs. Apart from losing their loved ones, a lot of them, the economy is crashing. We've never seen such tough times. A lot of them, lakhs of people who've lost their jobs. They're sitting at home. They're trying to motivate themselves to start something new, become a lot, be more creative to maybe find new opportunities. I think you'd be able to best tell us how do you really knock on that creative side of you? Those who don't come from privileged backgrounds, of course, we might find it harder. They'll have to really, I don't know. You tell. What is it like to give up something that you really wanted to do? Maybe find other creative ideas and ventures and dive straight in. What's the kind of mental setup you need for that?
I can't speak for everyone, and I cannot pretend to either, because people who have jobs which require them to have the job, and there's no other innovative or creative thing to do other than just get back to having a job, and that's the reality of it. As an artist, when you say there were things you wanted to do and I had to adapt, I was doing with music and playing live there. And I'd spent almost 2 years building up something there. And then I kind of have to be like, oh, okay, so that's all stopped. I have my movies here, but then what else? How do I develop it? How do I do it further? And that's what prompted me the last lockdown to release my single Self and push pushed myself as an artist to be as innovative and creative as possible. What is the great lesson we've all realized is, I think pre-pandemic is the newest, the most perfect, the better than the rest. And I think what we've learned now is it is what it is. What you've tried is good enough, because the intention is what counts. The intention to innovate right now is what counts.
The intention to innovate. So you push yourself and you find your path. I also read somewhere, I'd like to say this here on live, I read that hard work does not promise you success, but lack of hard work will promise you failure. I thought that was very well written. It was a very nice message.
And it's really difficult. It's difficult, when you have bills to pay, and there's medical bills, there's your daily life bills where, you are still paying your loans or your electricity bills and you are not getting paid. I mean, it's such a stressful time. So to say, no, just relax, things will be fine. Nobody feels like it's going to be fine. So the only way is to innovate, actually.
Okay. Your message, Shruti, finally, to just those who are right now super low, want to pick themselves up, want to get past this pandemic with some positivity. Go on. Field is yours.
I think that I would say that this is really like an unprecedented time, and it's really difficult, something we haven't, and we don't know how to cope 100%, be it the medical world or be it people professionally, financially. And I just say that we have to take it one step at a time, and it sounds